All right, I'm Matt Jones, and I'm making an immersive RPG in Godot. And one of the common problems I was running into when I was just getting started with Godot was I would get some error messages when I tried to use lookat, and I didn't understand why it was giving me an error, and I just wanted to have something point at something else. So, for example, I have a cube here and I have an arrow. When I click this button, I want the arrow to point at the cube using the look at function. So let's click it and see what happens. Alright, so it's not working, and if you look down on our debugger here, it's puking an error message into the debugger. Let's see what that is. So it's giving us a message: up vector and direction between node origin and target are aligned. So it's like, what the heck does that mean? It's like, I don't, who's going to understand what that means? So basically we're saying arrow, look at, and then cube, global transform origin, and it's failing. So if you want the very quick explanation and you just want to see the answer, just replace this code here, arrow, look at, blah blah blah, with our new custom function, safe look at. And here it is right here. So if you just want the answer, just copy and pasta this code into your project and you can use that just like how it is used here. So just change like this to this. But oh, and if you want to copy and paste it, you can go to github.com/immersiverpg/Godot look at fix, and then you can just copy it here, or you can check out this project and try it yourself. So now, if you want to keep watching, I will explain what that problem is and why you're getting that error and why you need to do this workaround. Alright, so here in our scene, we have the arrow and we have the cube. If we look at the cube, it's at transform 0, 0, 0. It's at the center of the world. Our arrow is at 11 and then 0, 0. So it's aligned on the Y and the Z, but the X, it's off by 11 meters. So it's parallel to the cube. So if we try and rotate it around the X, which is back here, we're rotating it around the right vector, which is 1, 0, 0. That's X. It's going to give us an error because it can't rotate around like this because it's aligned. So if we move it up a tiny bit, so now it's 11, 0, and then -2, blah blah blah, it's going to work fine. See, it works. But now if we set this back to 0, it's going to fail again. See, it can't do it gives us the error message in the debugger. And then you think, okay, well, what if instead of rotating around X, let's rotate it around Y, which is up. That's going to work because we're parallel on Y and Z, but not X. So, but if we change it to, for example, it's on the same position, but it's just above it, and then the Y is what's different. But then we look down here and we're using up, which is just Y. It's going to fail still. So we have the same issue. It's like then we're playing a game of cat and mouse. Do we do up, or do we do right, or do we do back? So rather than do all of that, I just look at the let me see if I can look at the whatever, look at the source code to how Godot actually does look at, and it just does multiple checks. Like the first check is if the origin and the target are the same, then we're going to get an error. So that would be like if the cube is at 0, it's at 0, 0, 0, and the arrow is at 0, 0, 0, so it'd be like this. So you're trying to have the arrow look at the cube, and it's like no matter which way you rotate it, it's not going to look at it because it's at the same position. It can't. So that's a check we can add. So if it's at the same position, we'll just ignore it. And then we go through the 3 possible values for our up vector right here. So we have right, up and back, which is just X, Y, and Z. And then we check if it's the cross product is normalized, and if that works, then we'll just use one of those. So if right works, we'll use it. If up works, we'll use it. If back works, we'll use that. And then we check if it works, then we're just gonna go back to the default look at. So that's it. That's all there is to it. So now we don't have to worry about like what is this weird up value or whatever. We can just use safe look at and replace our code like this with this, and we don't have to worry about it. And I know obviously if you understand the math and all that, it's more complicated, and there are other situations where you might want to have a different value here. But just for saying point this thing at this other thing using look at, this is a nice solution. So anyway, go to github.com/immersiverpg/Godot look at fix and check out the code or the project or whatever. Leave a comment on the video, like it. Let me know if you have any other experiences using this, because this was really annoying to me when I first started using Godot. I am like, what? I have no idea. So I will see you guys later.